Hi everyone, I have another book today that's going to help us learn a little bit more about seeds and how they turn into plants. This book is called Seed to Sunflower. It's a life cycle book. So I want you to pay attention to the different steps that it takes for a seed to turn into a sunflower because they're true for most of the seeds and plants that we've planted and that we'll be learning about. Seed to Sunflower. Here is the table of contents where it tells us the different sections of the book and the different things that we'll be learning as we read. This says, what is a sunflower? A sunflower is a type of plant. Most plants have roots, stems, and leaves. Plants grow all over the world except in the coldest and driest places. This says most sunflowers have golden yellow petals. Stems grow up toward the light. They have leaves and flowers. Roots hold the plant in the soil and soak up the water. Plants need air, sunlight, and water to grow. The story of a sunflower. Sunflowers grow in yards and parks. Farmers also plant them in fields so they can sell the seeds. A seed is no bigger than your fingernail, but each seed can grow into a tall sunflower. The story of how a seed grows into a plant is called a life cycle. So here are the steps of the life cycle. Ready? It says number 1, seed. A sunflower has 3 stages. So number 1 is the seed, number 2 is the shoot, and number 3 is the flower. So 3 stages: seed, shoot, and sunflower. Inside a seed. A seed holds the beginnings of a new plant. It also contains food for the plant when it starts to grow. A sunflower seed has a hard shell. It may be black or black with cream stripes. It says seeds grow in the middle of the sunflower head. And this says if you open a sunflower seed, you can see the store of food inside. This giant redwood is the largest tree in the world. It is 380 feet tall, but its seeds are tiny. Each seed is only a few millimeters long. It's very small. A redwood tree makes cones. Each cone holds many seeds. So those tiny little seeds eventually grow into this giant tree. This section is called the first shoot. When a sunflower seed is planted in soil and watered, it may begin to grow. This is called germination. Can you say germination? That's when it begins to grow. The seed's outer shell softens and splits open. A tiny root grows down from the seed and into the soil. A few days later, a shoot begins to grow. The young plant is called a seedling. So let's look at these steps. First, the seeds are planted. Then a shoot pushes through the soil. Can you see that tiny shoot starting to come out of the soil? Then the shoot grows bigger. And this is actually one of my favorite photos because I love how it shows you the outside of the seed is still on it from when it was down in the soil. And in this one, the 4th step, it says the outer shell of the seed falls off and then 2 small leaves open up. Sprouting and growing. Once the seedling has leaves, it makes its own food. The leaves use sunlight to make food from air and water. The green leaves turn to face the sun. They collect as much sunlight as possible. Each leaf has tiny holes which let air into the leaf. All plants need water to make their own food and to grow. This says, the seedling's roots soak up water from the soil. The seedling grows bigger every day. As it grows, new leaves appear. And then this tells us a sunflower grows fastest in the first few weeks. So you have to keep a close eye on the sunflower seed that you planted. And once it starts to come out of the soil, I'll be curious to see how fast it grows. Maybe you can even start to measure it and record that in your journal if that's the plant that you've chosen to watch and observe for your journal. This says the flower opens. In the summertime, a small green flower bud forms. The bud opens up into a big yellow sunflower. It says the flower has a flat center. The center holds the male and female parts of the flower. They are needed to make more seeds. The male parts are called stamens. The female parts are called carpels. So let's see, here it says, first the green leaves open and then the petals. And then we can see up here, there's the stamen out here and the carpel that it talked about. And then it says yellow petals surround the flat center of the flower head. This section is called butterflies and bees. Bees, butterflies, and other insects are attracted to flowers. They see the bright petals and smell their sweet nectar. It says nectar is full of sugar. It is food for butterflies. It says stamens are covered in a yellow powder called pollen. As insects sip the nectar, they are coated in the pollen. Insects carry pollen from one plant to the carpels of another plant. The pollen sticks to the stiff hairs on a bee's legs. Do you see that? How he's covered? New seeds grow. Grains of pollen grow down into the carpels. They join with eggs inside the flower head. This is called fertilization. When the eggs have been fertilized, they become new seeds. The rest of the flower is no longer needed, so the petals fall off. By the end of summer, the plant looks old and tired, but it is still alive. It is growing lots of healthy seeds. The seeds swell and turn black. So they get a little more full and big and turn black. The seeds are collected and used to make food for people and for pets. So let's see. This says each sunflower head holds hundreds of seeds. And then here you can see a picture of someone taking the seeds out of the sunflower head at the end of the summer. You see all those seeds they're collecting? Spreading the seeds. The seeds are ripe and full of food. They fall to the ground or are eaten by birds. Squirrels and mice also eat sunflower seeds. They climb up stems to reach the seeds or collect them from the ground. They may drop the seeds or bury them. It says birds crack open the seeds with their beak. And squirrels hide seeds in the ground. They may come back and eat them later. It says when spring comes, the seeds that are in good soil begin to germinate. They will grow into new plants and the whole life cycle will begin again. So, isn't that interesting that a life cycle is really a pattern that's in nature? It keeps going over and over and over again because the new seeds that came from the fully grown sunflower then will start to grow all over again, and eventually they will grow into flowers that make new seeds. So think about how a pattern keeps repeating over and over and over. That's what happens in nature. I hope that you enjoyed learning about this and that it helps you know a little bit more about how you can take care of your plants and what to expect as your seeds start to grow into plants. I'm excited to see what happens to all of your seeds, but especially your sunflower seeds. And I hope that you have had a wonderful day. We will see you all very soon. Take care.